It's honestly, it's just a part of my life. And the one thing, though, is that Fresh Prince fans are the show is really loved.
It's been nearly 30 years since the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air burst onto the scene and revolutionized the sitcom landscape. This beloved NBC series was so popular that it held on to its primetime Monday 8 p.m. slot for its entire 6-year run. While the show tackled important social issues with humor and heart, behind the scenes, things were often just as dramatic. Many fans are aware of the infamous Aunt Viv replacement between seasons 3 and 4, but there's much more to the story. From the future president who had issues with his lines to the beloved character who nearly got recast, Tatyana Ali is now shedding light on the darker secrets of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Curious to learn more? Let's find out. Will Smith only became the Fresh Prince because of trouble with the IRS? Will Smith wasn't exactly living the high life when he signed on to star in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The 90s sitcom was set to be a game changer, but at the time, Smith was grappling with a hefty IRS debt. His previous career as a rapper with DJ Jazzy Jeff had left him in financial trouble. After their album He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper went triple platinum and won a Grammy, Smith splurged on luxury cars and designer clothes, neglecting to pay his taxes. By the time he transitioned to acting, he owed the IRS a staggering $2.8 million. Smith's financial woes deepened when his follow-up album flopped, humorously described by the actor as going double plastic. With his funds depleted and his tax debt mounting, Smith was in dire straits. However, fortune smiled upon him when he met Fresh Prince producer Benny Medina on the set of the Arsenio Hall show. Following an impromptu audition at Quincy Jones's house, Smith landed the lead role. Despite this breakthrough, his financial troubles didn't end immediately. The IRS claimed 70% of his Fresh Prince paycheck for the next 3 years. The real reason Aunt Vivian was recast. Aunt Vivian, the matriarch who won hearts as the Fresh Prince's loving and supportive guardian, is remembered for having 2 distinct faces. Janet Hubert portrayed the role with warmth and depth during the first 3 seasons of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. However, in 1993, she was abruptly replaced by Daphne Maxwell Reid, leading to much speculation and controversy. While rumors swirled about on-set conflicts and behind-the-scenes drama, the truth appears to be more about network politics than personal feuds. Hubert, in a revealing interview with Jet, suggested that her departure was driven by a vendetta from network executives. According to Hubert, NBC was unwilling to negotiate her contract, which was exceedingly restrictive. It was a negotiation that should have come back like most do, Hubert reflected in a 2013 interview with The Griot. We were a very successful show, and I felt like I was an integral part of that, but in Hollywood it's hard to feel valued. Adding to the intrigue, Hubert filed a lawsuit against NBC and Will Smith, alleging that she faced a hostile work environment during her pregnancy. This lawsuit fueled persistent rumors that her firing was due to her pregnancy, despite the fact that her character's pregnancy was written into the show's final season. The OG Aunt Viv can't stand Will Smith. Janet Hubert's ongoing feud with Will Smith has become one of the most enduring and bitter disputes in Hollywood history, lingering long after The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air wrapped up. The conflict, which began in 1993 when NBC chose not to renew Hubert's contract, has simmered for decades and continues to stir emotions. Hubert has consistently pointed the finger at Smith, claiming that his influence played a major role in her firing. In a 1993 interview with Jet, she directly accused Smith of having a hand in her departure. He has a lot of clout. It's too bad that it's a black-on-black attack. He has gotten me fired from the show, and now he is trying to snatch my career away from me, with his recent comments. Hubert's frustration was compounded by Smith's public remarks, which she felt undermined her reputation. Smith's comments included a controversial interview with an Atlanta radio station, where he suggested that Hubert wanted the series to revolve solely around her character, calling her the Antichrist in their relationship. The tension escalated over the years, with Hubert not holding back in her criticism. Nearly 2 decades after her departure, she described Smith and his co-star, Alfonso Ribero, who played Carlton Banks, as having destroyed her career with untruths about her behavior on set. In 2009, Hubert even reached out to Smith and his manager, asking them to clear her name from the damaging rumors. Despite the prolonged animosity, Smith attempted to bridge the gap in 2016 by acknowledging Hubert's talent. In an interview with BBC Radio 1 Extra, he praised her as brilliant and a really powerful artist, signaling a possible thaw in their relationship. Carlton has no problems trash-talking his TV mom. Janet Hubert's issues with Will Smith are well documented, but her relationship with Alfonso Ribero, her on-screen son, is equally fraught and arguably more personal. Ribero, who transitioned from his iconic role as Carlton Banks to winning Dancing with the Stars in 2014, took a sharp jab at Hubert in a 2009 stand-up routine which has since been removed from public view. In the now unavailable video unearthed by Perez Hilton, Ribero didn't hold back, describing Hubert as crazy and claiming she had gone nuts during her tenure on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He recounted episodes where Hubert would erupt at cast and crew, making the set a difficult environment. Ribero explained, "There were days when we were all on the set and she would literally go off on people, and they got to a point by the time the second season came around where we're like, this is unacceptable." He further remarked on the familial bond they had aimed for on set, which Hubert's behavior allegedly fractured, saying, "We felt like, when we were doing The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that we were a family. She at that point ruined that, and she made it very difficult for us to work." These revelations might shed light on why Hubert has voiced such strong accusations against Smith and Ribero, suggesting they played a role in destroying her career with alleged untruths. Given that the show aired in an era without modern digital documentation like text messages and cell phone cameras, the full story remains obscured. Alfonso Ribero was fired after the pilot. As much as Aunt Vivian might have a strained relationship with Carlton in real life, there's no denying that the preppy, dance-loving nerd is one of the most memorable characters from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Alfonso Ribero, who brought Carlton to life with unforgettable charm, almost didn't get the chance to play the role that made him a household name. In a revealing 2017 interview with Digital Spy, Ribero shared that he initially landed the role of Carlton after a successful audition. However, following the filming of the pilot episode, producers considered recasting the character. It's almost hard to imagine the show without Ribero's unique portrayal, but for a brief moment, it seemed like that might become a reality. "There was a moment where essentially I was hired and rehired. You may look at it that way," Ribero recounted. "There was a large chance that the Carlton character would have been played by somebody else. But luckily enough, the decision was made to continue to have me do it, and I guess the rest is history." Indeed, Ribero's portrayal of Carlton, with his signature V-neck sweaters and bow ties, became iconic, cementing his place in television history. It's a testament to how the right actor can make a character truly unforgettable. Donald Trump was a nightmare on set. Long before Donald Trump was making headlines for his unconventional White House habits and hamburgers, he was dabbling in a rather peculiar acting career, making cameo appearances in a slew of major films and TV shows like Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and The Nanny. Among these appearances was a 1994 guest spot on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but the future president's time on set reportedly came with its share of drama. Trump's role was in the episode titled "For Sale by Owner," and according to an anonymous crew member who spoke to Newsweek, the real estate mogul was far from a model guest. The crew member recounted that Trump was notably displeased with his script, voicing concerns to executive producer Gary H. Miller that his lines weren't humorous enough. Miller, confident in his comedic instincts, reassured Trump, saying, "Trust me, you'll get a laugh." Despite this reassurance, Trump was reportedly irked by the script and threw the pages onto the floor in frustration. The scene that unfolded was less than pleasant. Trump's then-wife, Marla Maples, was seen picking up the scattered pages, and when the crew member offered to help, she insisted, "I got 'em. I got them. I'm so sorry." The crew member described the incident as such a really rude thing, the way he did it. So terrible. So disrespectful. He just wasn't pleasant. This encounter left a lasting impression on those who witnessed it, adding a unique chapter to Trump's colorful, if controversial, foray into the world of television. Will Smith had a difficult childhood. Will Smith's emotionally charged performance in the Season 4 episode, Papa's Got a Brand New Excuse of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, was more than just acting. It was deeply personal. The episode, which deals with the pain of a father abandoning his child, resonated with Smith due to his own troubled relationship with his father. Though he has spoken about mending fences with his dad in later years, the scars from his past were profound. In a candid moment on The Graham Norton Show in 2019, Smith reflected on his childhood experiences, revealing that his father's abusive behavior had a lasting impact on him. Smith recounted witnessing his father physically abuse his mother, a traumatic experience that shaped his approach to family life. Determined not to repeat the cycle of violence, Smith and his wife, Jada Pinket Smith, established strict boundaries in their relationship. For over 2 decades, they have committed to avoiding the use of profanity and maintaining a peaceful, respectful environment in their home. In a revealing episode of Red Table Talk, Smith shared his resolve. "I grew up in a household where I watched my father punch my mother in the face, and I will not create a house, a space, an interaction with a person where there's profanity and violence." He emphasized that, for him, maintaining a harmonious relationship meant upholding these boundaries. "If you have to talk to me like that, we can't be together. We're not going to use any profanity in our interactions. We're not going to raise our voice. We're not going to be violent. I can't do it." Alfonso Ribero sued Fortnite over the Carlton dance. In the late 2010s, Alfonso Ribero took his battle against Fortnite, Battle Royale, to the courtroom rather than the dance floor. Ribero, best known for his role as Carlton Banks and his iconic Carlton dance, was displeased when he saw a dance emote in the popular video game that closely resembled his signature moves. In 2018, Ribero filed a lawsuit against Epic Games, the creators of Fortnite, alleging that the emote, named Fresh, which was available for around $8 or $800 V-Bucks, was an unauthorized replication of his dance. The lawsuit was supported by a side-by-side comparison of the Carlton dance and the Fresh emote, which showed striking similarities. Despite this, Ribero faced significant legal hurdles. Saskia Florence, a supervisory registration specialist at the U.S. Copyright Office's Performing Arts Division, noted that Ribero's attempt to copyright his dance routine was problematic. Florence argued that the dance was too simple to warrant copyright protection, adding that any potential copyright would likely belong to NBC, the network that produced The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, rather than Ribero himself. Ribero's legal troubles extended beyond Fortnite. He also initiated a similar lawsuit against Take-Two Interactive for dance moves featured in the NBA 2K video game series. However, by March 2019, Ribero decided to drop both lawsuits, facing an uphill battle in proving his ownership and the uniqueness of his dance routine. Tatyana Ali's onset kiss made her want to die. Tatyana Ali, who played the sweet and often shy Ashley Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, had one of her most cringeworthy moments on set during a pivotal life milestone: her first real kiss. In a 2018 interview with Us Weekly, Ali revealed that the scene, which was supposed to be a tender and private moment, turned into a public spectacle thanks to her co-stars. Alfonso Ribero and Karen Parsons, who played her on-screen siblings Carlton and Hillary, respectively, decided to make an unannounced appearance on set that day. Their presence was not only unexpected, but added to the pressure of the situation. I just remember Karen Parsons and Alfonso, and we had our cameras. The cameras on sitcoms are like huge cameras, Ali recalled. I just remember them looking behind the camera. I mean, who has a first kiss like that? At the time, I wanted to die. Despite the initial embarrassment, Ali has since moved past the awkward memory with grace. By 2013, she openly discussed her evolving views on relationships and personal pleasures in an interview with HuffPost. Ali humorously admitted that she considered one-night stands a guilty pleasure, alongside her love for bread pudding, because, as she puts it, who doesn't love bread pudding? DJ Jazzy Jeff couldn't take his onset injuries. Stunt doubles are there for a reason, and the classic Fresh Prince of Bel-Air scene, where Will's friend Jazz gets thrown out of the bank's mansion, is a prime example. For years, rumors swirled that this iconic scene was only filmed once to save on production costs. However, the reality is quite different, and far more painful for one particular actor. Jeffrey A. Towns, better known as DJ Jazzy Jeff, addressed these rumors in a 2015 interview with HuffPost. According to Towns, the scene was indeed shot multiple times, but not always as frequently as the script might suggest. The real reason for the repeated takes had more to do with the physical toll on him rather than budgetary constraints. When I did it maybe the third or fourth time, because every time you shoot it, you probably have to do it about 40 times, Towns explained. I was literally black and blue by the time they said, "We got it." And it got so bad the last time, I was like, I can't do this. I'm not a stuntman. I can't do it. The grueling experience highlighted just how demanding even seemingly simple scenes can be, with Towns ultimately deciding he couldn't endure the pain any longer. The scene may be a fan favorite, but it's clear that it came at quite a cost for the actor. Karen Parsons didn't like the show when she first tried out. Imagine the surprise of Karen Parsons when she first heard about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. At the time, she was working as a restaurant hostess in Hollywood, and the idea of a sitcom starring a rapper didn't exactly thrill her. Reflecting on her initial reaction during a 2014 NPR interview, Parsons admitted, "I remember thinking, oh God, it's a sitcom with a rapper? Like, what's that?" Her doubts weren't just about the show's premise. She also felt she wasn't the right fit for the role of Hillary Banks. Originally, Hillary was envisioned as a effortlessly cool model, which seemed worlds apart from Parsons' own self-image. The actress thought trying out for the role was ridiculous, since she didn't see herself as a model type. Despite these reservations, Parsons decided to give it a shot. Instead of conforming to the original character description, she infused Hillary with a unique, bratty attitude, which ultimately secured her the role. Even with the prospect of landing a major TV role, Parsons kept her day job until Fresh Prince proved it had staying power. Her persistence paid off, and she became a beloved part of one of the 90s most iconic sitcoms. Will Smith's co-stars didn't think he'd become a superstar. Will Smith's rise to fame seemed almost inevitable after his success as both a music star and television sensation. During the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's run, Smith began exploring Hollywood's movie scene, starring alongside Martin Lawrence in Michael Bay's action-packed Bad Boys. As the sitcom wrapped up, Smith quickly transitioned into one of the highest-paid actors in the industry and went on to win an Oscar. Karen Parsons, who played Hillary Banks on the show, shared with the Scottish Sun that while everyone on set knew Smith was a talented and charismatic actor, they were stunned by how quickly he skyrocketed to superstardom. Will was a successful actor going into Fresh Prince, and he was charismatic, funny, and smart as a whip, Parsons remarked. We knew all of that, but it doesn't always translate to someone becoming a megastar. She admitted to being particularly surprised when Smith took on action roles in films like Independence Day, given her familiarity with him from the sitcom. Nonetheless, Parsons acknowledged that the producers saw something special in Smith that others might have missed at the time. Jada Pinkett Smith lost out on a role in The Fresh Prince. During Season 5 of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a moment of near serendipity almost unfolded. Jada Pinket auditioned for the role of Will's girlfriend, Lisa, but ultimately lost out to Nia Long. In his memoir, Will, Smith reflects on the audition, revealing that the casting agent told Pinkett she wasn't tall enough for the part. Smith noted that Pinkett was frustrated by Hollywood's focus on physical attributes over talent. She hated that about Hollywood, that somehow her height, or lack thereof, was of more vital importance to the art than her abundant talents. Despite not landing the role, Pinkett and Smith crossed paths during this audition process, leading to a meaningful connection. Although they only started dating a year later, after Smith's divorce from his first wife, Sherry Zampino, their relationship eventually blossomed, and they married in 1997. Will Smith asked out his co-star. It's not uncommon for co-stars to develop romantic feelings for one another, given the close quarters and shared experiences on set. Such connections have sparked some of Hollywood's most iconic romances, like Brangelina and Bennifer. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was no exception to these on-screen sparks, particularly for Will Smith. In his memoir, Smith reveals that he developed feelings for his co-star Karen Parsons and eventually asked her out on a date. He was candid about his intentions, even trying to reassure Parsons that their off-screen relationship wouldn't affect their professional dynamic. She was smart enough to tell me hell no when I tried to explain we were not really cousins, so it would be fine if we dated, Smith writes. Parsons' decision to decline the offer turned out to be a wise one, according to Smith. Reflecting on the situation, he acknowledges that it would have been strange to see them both as loving relatives on screen and then as a couple in real life. Despite not being cousins in reality, the prospect of their romance would have felt oddly reminiscent of a storyline from The Simpsons or a plot twist from Game of Thrones. Alfonso Ribero believes he was punished for his role as Carlton. Appearing on a hit television show can seem like a dream come true for many actors, but it comes with its own set of challenges, most notably typecasting. When an actor becomes synonymous with a single role, they often face difficulty breaking free from that mold and finding diverse opportunities. This is particularly true in the world of television and film, where an actor's iconic character can overshadow their broader talent. This concern is one of the reasons actors sometimes hesitate to join long-running franchises or series. For Alfonso Ribero, the widespread fame he garnered as Carlton Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air came with its own set of career challenges. In an interview with Atlanta Black Star, Ribero shared how his portrayal of Carlton became so closely associated with him that it limited his opportunities to explore other roles. "I did my job as an actor to convince people I was this character," Ribero explained. "But then I was told I couldn't be seen as anyone else afterwards. And then I was punished for it. I didn't get to do what my craft was." This experience taught Ribero a valuable lesson about the limitations of typecasting and the importance of having the freedom to explore and express one's full range of talent. Despite the hurdles, Ribero's journey highlights the dedication and resilience required to continue pursuing one's passion in the face of career constraints. The real reason The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air ended. Like many beloved TV shows, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air eventually reached a point where its charm began to wane. By May 1996, the sitcom's once celebrated status had faded, particularly during its final 2 seasons, which many viewers felt were marked by lackluster and often far-fetched storylines. In his 2021 memoir, Will Smith reflected on the moment when he felt the show had jumped the shark. He pinpointed it to Season 5, Episode 15, titled Bullets Over Bel-Air, where his character gets shot and Carlton Banks starts carrying a gun. "Anyone who has ever been on a sitcom can tell you the episode in which their show jumped the shark," Smith wrote. "For us, it was that episode. I had successfully fulfilled a promise to myself to never get stuck in a cycle of deterioration without having the next thing lined up. Despite his deep affection for the show and its cast, Smith felt the time was right to explore new opportunities. As he stood at this career crossroads, he turned to someone he had long admired. John Amoss, known for his role as James Evans on Good Times. Amoss, who had guest starred on The Fresh Prince, offered Smith advice based on his own experiences in the industry. This counsel proved pivotal for Smith and ultimately contributed to the decision to end the sitcom. John Amoss told Will Smith to end Fresh Prince on his own terms. Amos's words were a stark warning. None of these execs or producers or business people give a sat about your family, Smith recalled Amoss telling him. Do not let them fatick off all of your hard work and passion, Amoss advised. It is your responsibility to make sure these people get to leave this show with some dignity. Smith took this advice to heart, feeling a deep connection to Amos's own experiences. As a fan, I felt insulted and abused by the Good Times narrative, Smith admitted. John's character was unceremoniously killed off, and almost 20 years later, the man himself spoke the word that fit the hole in my heart. The conversation with Amoss was a turning point for Smith, shaping his approach to his own show's conclusion. The following week, Smith convened the Fresh Prince cast and shared the news that Season 6 would be their final season. He encouraged them to take the next year to make any necessary plans and promised them that the show would conclude with style and grace. Smith's commitment to ensuring the show's dignified end was driven by his strong reaction to what had happened to Amoss and his character James Evans on Good Times. The decision to end the sitcom was not just about moving on to new opportunities, but also about honoring the hard work and dedication of everyone involved in the series. What do you think about the way Will Smith handled the show's end, and how do you feel about the personal challenges faced by the cast? Share your thoughts in the comments below. For more insights into the behind-the-scenes secrets of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.